Welcome back to the Graham Stephan Show, and if you thought you were bad with money, think again. In the past, we reacted to Caleb Hammer videos, and for those unaware, Caleb Hammer is someone who gets people on his channel and roasts their finances. I mean, these poor people who go on his channel get absolutely demolished for their horrendous spending habits. But alongside Caleb, we also have Romain. Now, Romain has a very similar channel where he audits people's finances, and it really goes to show you that you think some people have their life all together, but deep down, it's an absolute train wreck. And I want to talk about this video that he did here. It's just titled, My Secret Life. 27-year-old pretends to be wealthy. So with that said, I want to comment on this as soon as you hit the like button and subscribe, because I have quite a lot to say on this. And also, I highly recommend go and subscribe to Romain's channel down below in the description if you guys enjoy financial audits. If you don't like them by the end of the episode, don't subscribe. But I guarantee you're going to like his channel at the end of the episode, so I'll link it down below. And now with that said, let's begin.
Welcome to Finance Action, the show where we take action. My name is Romain, and today I'm with Savannah. Savannah, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Roman. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, Savannah. Let's look at your profile. You are 27 years old. You're originally from Texas. You currently live in Los Angeles, and you work as an entrepreneur.
Oh, gosh. The amount of people in LA who say, entrepreneur, what do you do for a living? No, I'm an entrepreneur. Code word for unemployed. I try to work for myself and I make no money. That's really when I hear, especially if you have entrepreneur in your bio. I hate to say it. Entrepreneur, CEO, unemployed. That's really what it is. It's a fancy word for just saying that. So, yeah, we'll continue on that. But that's my rant when it comes to LA entrepreneurs, the whole Instagram. Can't stand it.
I'm from Texas. I grew up pretty poor.
Okay.
I had a baby when I was 16 years old.
16 years old.
16
Wow.
years old, yeah. And I moved away at 18 shortly after. I moved to Los Angeles.
Yeah, this got to be rough, having a kid at 16 and then up and moving a few years later to a new city where, you know, I'm guessing maybe she didn't have that many connections there, especially if she's from Texas. I mean, maybe she did, maybe she didn't. Already, she's starting life with quite the challenge thrown in her way. So she has to overcome a lot more than the average person who's 16, just goofing around, not doing anything, playing video games all day. Like, she's got major responsibilities. So right off the bat, she's got to probably work 5 times harder than anyone else just to stay afloat on that.
So I started having some changes in my body, and I thought, this is puberty, right? You know, I thought it was like growing into my woman body, you know, with all the things that come with pregnancy. But turns out I was 5 months pregnant.
Gosh, imagine 5 months without realizing you're pregnant. You hear these stories. Now, I don't know what it's like. I mean, you know, I'm coming at this from the perspective of like a dude in his 30s with no idea, you know, what any of this is. But yeah, I hear these stories of people who just go to the hospital being like, I have, you know, a stomach cramp that won't go away. Turns out they're giving birth. And like 30 minutes later, there's like a kid in their arms. They're like, what? I had no idea I'm pregnant. It's wild. But yeah, apparently a lot of people could simply just not have any reactions whatsoever for a very long time until they find out.
I knew from a very young age, like I could do anything. I have like big expectations and high hopes and dreams for myself. So I knew this is something that is like such a beautiful thing, right? And even in my circumstance, such a tough situation, I still said I can do this. Like, I just got to figure out how now.
Yeah, people really have to weigh the reality of having a child at that age and what that's going to do to the trajectory of your life, how much that's going to make your life that much more difficult, how many more obstacles you have to overcome, how quickly you have to grow up. I think people need to take that extremely seriously.
I decided I want to move to LA. If you've ever been to LA or lived in LA, you know that the dating scene's not so great. So I met the wrong guy.
Oh, man. It's again, it seems like a series of meeting the wrong guy. If you're not confident in yourself, you're probably not going to attract a partner who's confident in themselves either, who's going to be a good match. That's what I think.
He made me believe that he was this like very rich, like established man, and Turns out everything he said was a lie.
Okay, so I'm making some broad generalizations here, but it sounds like she wanted some sort of financial stability, valued, that maybe, I don't want to say over character, because it's definitely possible to find someone with great character who also just happens to have a ton of money. Okay, listen, jokes aside, but if she were to put money as like the forefront of, this guy seems successful and therefore I'm going to trust him, yeah, it's probably not the best, especially if people lead with their wealth and with their success. It's every time I've ever seen that in LA, when someone pulls up in a really fancy car, head-to-toe designer clothing, flaunting, I live here and I do this and I have that. It's just like talking about themselves, and they have an entrepreneur in their Instagram bio and all the photos of them. It's all fake every single time. The real people that I see who are truly successful and wealthy in Los Angeles, they have anonymous Instagram profiles. They have maybe 100 followers, 200 followers of people that they know. Their whole profile is private. They never post crap to try to show off. They're never out there trying to get likes. They drive a very normal car. They go under the radar. Those are the wealthy people. If you appear wealthy on the outside, a lot of the times, not every time, but a lot of the times it's fake.
We were living at our apartment in Beverly Hills, and he goes, "Hey, Savannah, we have to move." I said, "What do you mean we have to move? I have my son with me. He's going to school here. What do you mean we have to move? Why? I can't pay rent here." And that's kind of where everything unfolded, and I started putting two and two together and going, oh.
In my opinion, I mean, again, I'm making broad generalizations here from watching 7 minutes of a YouTube video, okay, of someone I don't know. All of this could be untrue. It could be just my imagination. It seems like he wants arm candy. She wanted someone to take care of her. They both found a mutual benefit in that, but he didn't hold up his end of the bargain. If he's going to be bringing in the money and the stability and the finances, continue to do that. Don't just run off with people's money.
I said, okay, now I need to buy a car. That's the first thing I need to do to get
out of this situation.
This situation it's horrible, right? So I saved up. I bought a car, cash, which I was like really proud of myself for that. Nice car, Mercedes.
Oh, I was about to joke. I'm like, oh yeah, so you bought a Mercedes. You don't buy a Mercedes when you're getting kicked out of your apartment. In what world is that a good idea? This is the part where I see that she puts image above financial stability. Buying a Mercedes, dumb decision. Dumb. Don't do that. She should have been buying a used Honda Civic, 10-year-old car. Bought it $10,000. Enough to get you around. She doesn't need a Mercedes in Los Angeles, of all places. The Mercedes in Los Angeles is basically like, the beater car of anywhere else in the world. It's just, it's not reality. It's just a bubble there.
How much did you pay for that?
I paid $8,000 for the cash. It's pretty impressive, right?
That's a pretty good deal. I mean, depends, Mercedes. I'm not a fan for used cars.
Okay, even then, $8,000 Mercedes, I'm just going to say it, the maintenance is through the roof on these things. Oil changes are way higher. Everything is so much more expensive. Tires are twice the cost of anything else. That's the issue. You pay more just because you get the badge in the front of the car.
I met my fiance now.
Okay,
along
let's go.
the way. And obviously I'm like a catch, to say the least.
I don't like when people refer to them as a catch. If you're such a great catch, it should be evident. You shouldn't have to say it. It's like saying, I'm really beautiful. Well, if you're actually really beautiful, we could see it. You don't need to say it. So that whole stuff kind of irks me a little bit. It sounds like deep down there are some issues or confidence that needs to be worked on here. Just foundational level stuff that she could build from. That's what I think is really going to help. Just mentally, just with her life, getting good people around her, getting off the facade of, I'm a catch, I'm this, I'm that. It should be evident by who you are as a person when people get to know you.
So who is this guy now?
So this guy's he owns nightclubs and restaurants and things in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. So this is she's fallen for the same sort of guys. It's that sort of fast LA lifestyle, you know, schmoozer. I'm gonna do a little bit of this over here, a little bit of this over there. Oh yeah, let me do this and do this. It just seems like that's the sort of vibe. That's the impression that I'm getting. Someone who grew up in LA. I've seen all the sort of crap that comes along with that. And listen, there's some great people there, some fantastic people. But, man, so many are just propped up on these, it's just a very fake, superficial environment there that a lot of people fall into. It's very easy to fall into it.
So he must be in a pretty good financial spot?
Not so much.
Okay.
Not so much. Is very famous around the world, like, for what he does, but he's the type that would rather be famous and well-known than rich.
Oh, okay. Again, so she's just going for financial stability at this point, which I don't blame her. With a kid trying to make it in Los Angeles, it's very expensive. She needs to make like, you know, $100,000 a year and work her tail off to be able to do that and get taxed, you know, trying to raise her kid in an environment like that. It's tough. So it seems to me like she's trying to use, you know, looks. How else am I supposed to say it? To attract someone who could just take care of her. You know, it just, again, I'm only 10 minutes in a video. This is me judging someone from 10 minutes on a YouTube video, and I could be completely wrong. But it's just, it's not good.
So, like, exactly 20 years older than me.
What do you think about that?
I think that he should have his shit together more than he does to take care of me.
Off the engagement. Call it off. Call it off. If that's not what you want, if it's not the right fit, and you value financial security more than you do fame, call it off, find someone else.
So you guys are engaged, soon potentially thinking about a wedding?
Yes. So
But wait, what money, Savannah?
Yeah.
And how much are you guys budgeting for that?
this is still an ongoing thing. He goes, so what, do we need like $30,000, $40,000? And I go, no, we need like $80,000 or $90,000.
$90,000?
What? Okay, so he would rather be famous than rich, but she wants him to spend his more money on the wedding because you're only getting married once. The track record is not looking good. The type of person like that running nightclubs probably is not going to have the best track record either. And you have two people with not the best track records who probably have to work on themselves individually together. I don't know about that. Don't spend that much money.
I feel like I'm constantly putting on a facade.
Okay.
You know, like everything's okay. But I'm hurting. Like, I feel like I'm drowning.
He needs to just get her own feet on the ground, get her own job, bring in her own money, have her own bank account, do her own thing, become self-sufficient. She should get to the point where she does not need a guy in her life. And if a guy comes in her life and they hit it off, great. But it sounds like she's become too reliant on other people, and that's going to present problems because then she's just at their whims, you know? And on top of that, she's also picking people who just, again, don't have the best track records. So her picker is off. Her picker is off, and she's reliant on them. Two bad combos here.
So together, net per month, you average from your recent statements about 6,500. Mm-hmm. Do we feel that this is accurate?
Yeah, this is definitely accurate. It doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely doesn't feel like that.
Okay, so here's the issue. She's making okay money for Los Angeles. $6,500 a month. People hear that. Oh, that's a great income. It is. Oh, gosh. That's what happens when I play. See, I'm not used to wearing a ring. Where did it go? I swear it just disappeared. Oh, man. All right, well, I might just... Oh, I found it. Oh, I'm not used to wearing this thing, and so just, like, I play with it sometimes, and I pull it off, and anyway, $6,500 a month. Great income anywhere other than Los Angeles, where the cost of living is extremely high. Taxes are extremely high. And my guess is, too, that her expenses are extremely high. So she's making an okay income, but she's spending all of it, plus probably more.
Here I'm looking at your checking account. You have a balance on Bank of America of $43.
Yeah.
You also have business accounts with negative balances of -13, -19. But
No,
that's
so sad.
not just it. You also have a saving account with 304.
Oh, this is awful. She's making $110,000 a year with negative money in her account and 43 in a checking account, $304 in the savings account. This is awful. Awful, awful, awful. You think that along the way she'd pick up some sort of financial habits that would just allow her to save some money. She's making a decent income overall. It's enough not to have these as assets.
Any cars?
I don't have any cars.
Not anymore?
No, not anymore.
So you lost that Mercedes pretty much.
Yes, the Mercedes is stolen, and then I had.
And you couldn't get to it?
Well, I didn't have insurance, which is kind of same thing that happened on my last car before that. I bought a brand new car, a Hyundai Genesis.
Brand new car, a Hyundai Genesis. Nice car, very expensive. It's penny wise, pound foolish. That's all it is. It's like she's making an okay decision and then just wiping it away with one bad decision. I mean, the insurance is the cheap part of getting a car. That's one of the, it's like putting in gas. It's like buying a really expensive car and be like, oh, it won't go anywhere because it didn't get gas. Oh, man, oh well, guess I can't drive it. Makes no sense.
No retirement funds?
No retirement.
How come?
To be honest with you, I don't think that I've been educated enough on it. I don't really know much about like how to even do that.
Okay.
Like what that looks like, what's the best way to do it, I have no idea how it all works.
She's making great money. It just doesn't sound like she wants to save it, double down on her career, make $200,000 a year, save the difference, live below her means, do that for 30 years. It's a grind. It's a grind. And I bet most people, they have access to like, hey, let me find a great guy, take care of me. A lot of people would just take it. So I don't think it's worth like hating on that. But I just don't see the drive at this point in her life to buckle down and save and do what it takes to just grind through it. She's not giving me that indication.
I haven't done my taxes in about 3 years.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
How come?
I'm unorganized.
Oh, this is just one thing after another. It's like, okay, I could forgive the Mercedes. I could forgive the one bad partner when you move to LA, you don't know any better, you have a child to take care of, you have so many responsibilities. I'll let her have that. But it's just stacking one on top of another on top of another, and you think it gets worse. And then she throws a curveball. I haven't done my taxes in 3 years. Do your taxes. You never want to mess with the IRS. Always do your taxes and pay your taxes. Always do that. Just at least file. Even if you don't have the money, file your taxes and work with the IRS on a payment plan. Just get them paid. Do not pay the IRS. Pay them.
How much do you pay for rent in Los Angeles?
I don't pay for rent.
Who does?
My fiance pays rent. The rent is $6,000 a month. Yeah, for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's a 1942 Craftsman, like in West Hollywood.
That's the rent, though. I mean, that's the market value for some of these houses in West Hollywood. You have a 2-bedroom with like, a guest unit in the back. It's not a mansion. It's not life of luxury. It's just, that's the area. It's anywhere else in the country, that house would be like $1,500 a month, maybe like $2,000 a month. West Hollywood, it's just, you pay for the area. That's what they're paying for. It bugs me, though, that I think she thinks he has way more money than he actually does. She thinks he's probably a huge multimillionaire. In reality, he's probably spending as much as he makes. I'm sure he probably makes $400,000 a year, $500,000 a year, but you could spend it so quickly.
Does your partner know your guys' financial situation of one and another? Do you guys speak?
No, not really.
But you're about to get married.
No, I don't really. I think we keep things separate.
Oh, come on. She's marrying the guy. Finances are extremely important to her. She's made that very clear. And she won't talk about finances to him. They kept it in the dark. She should at least know his financial situation, and he should know hers. To know what you're getting into if you're marrying someone, just understand the big picture. What's going to happen? Who's responsible for what? Who pays for what? Come on. I know she's living rent-free here, but if they get married, how are you going to, support each other in this?
I don't know. I guess that I just don't want to bother him with my situation. Yes, I tell him briefly about things, but like never in detail. He doesn't know like half of the things that I've told you.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem. the thing is, you could only put it off for so long, put it in the closet, shut the door. It's going to be an issue at some point. It's going to be his problem too, at some point in the future. You got to be upfront about that.
He's able to pay their rent and a little more than that. So the company he was working for basically just shut down. They just pulled out. I mean, hundreds of people lost their jobs, and he's one of them. And so he's.
Does he have any savings?
I don't know.
What? Okay, so the dude just got laid off, essentially, and she doesn't know if he could continue paying her rent, and she doesn't want to ask him about it. She's just digging her own grave here. I mean, it's the reality of it. She's gotta be more proactive. I think for her, it's more like, she's the damsel in distress. She's gonna be taken care of, and ignorance is bliss. I'm not gonna ask about it. If he doesn't bring it up, it's not important, and I'm not gonna bother him. Let's not rock the boat here. That is her strategy at this point.
I only looked at 15 days, 20 plus Ubers, ranging from $10 to an astonishing $59. Together, that brings, just looking at a couple days here, your recent expenses on Uber at $753.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh! She's basically spending about $1,500 a month on transportation getting around LA. Again, at that price, what I would do is buy a Toyota Prius, spend $7,000 on that car. It's probably always going to be worth about $6,000 to $7,000. All it is gas and insurance. Dirt cheap. You can get your expenses, transportation around Los Angeles, $400 a month. She could be saving $1,000 a month by buying her own car instead of taking Uber everywhere. It's crazy that people don't know what they spend. It's like, how is this a surprise to her? She's like, I did that? What? Oh my God, I had no idea. You're telling me this for the first time. Oh my, come on. She did all of this herself. How does she not aware of what she's done? It's like, this should not be a surprise. It should be like, oh, yeah, you caught me. All right, I did that. I know that was a naughty, but, guilty. Instead, it shouldn't be a surprise.
That's not the plan, is to spend all my money on Ubers and food, but that's kind of what happens. And I'll tell you this, I kind of went through a little bit of a depression for a while.
I think there's got to be some personal accountability here that, like, hey, I screwed up. Here's what I was going through. It's not a reason for it. That was my headspace at the time. Here's how I'm going to make it better. It's not going to happen again. If I am in a headspace like that, where I'm depressed, I'm going to chop up my credit cards and not take Ubers. I'm not going to supplement my life with these expenses that only make things worse, because it's just making it worse.
For a couple months, just no work and just like going out. Like going out to party, going out with my friends.
Going out to party with her friends. It's like, I think she should focus on being a mother at this point. The kid should be coming first. Every decision I think she makes should be for her child. Whether that's, how can I be a better person? What skills can I learn? How could I be a great role model to my child? How could I make sure my child has the best life possible? Not partying with friends.
Our discussion today needs to come as an intervention because you're falling behind the train. And not only that, is that as I look into your credit score too, today you have a credit score of 457.
Oh, that's so bad. How does her almost husband not know about this? How is he not curious? If he's remotely good with money, he's going to inquire and wonder what her credit score is and make sure she does not have accounts in collections. If he's good with money, tells me he either doesn't care or he's not good with money. It's probably both.
So there's a student loan on there for the cosmetology school that I never finished. I think it's like around $3,000.
Not too bad. Okay.
I didn't realize student loans stay on forever.
Yep. You can't even
I was just waiting for the 7 years.
Done.
The 7 years for it to like kind of go away.
Oh my God, then everyone would just be waiting 7 years for it to go away if that were the case. Imagine you could take up $500,000 of student loans, become a doctor, and be like, well, I'm not going to pay it for 7 years, and it's gone. It doesn't work. They're there.
I had someone open a Exxon Mobil card in my name, which is another like ex kind of situation.
Another guy?
Yeah, it was a roommate, but like a guy that he stole my information.
Everybody that you meet is kind of scamming you?
Oh my gosh, it's everybody. I think everyone in her life is, I don't want to say a user, but she's not surrounding herself with great people. Everyone is just probably like, oh, hey, here's an attractive female in her 20s. Let's have her around. She's naive. She'll just believe whatever she's told, and they're just extracting value. And she is falling for it. All they need to do is put up some front of success. They need to look rich, wealthy, have any amount of social status. She can't see it. The hard part is that, like, I could understand falling for it. But then learning from those mistakes. It just seems like this is a pattern that needs to be broken, and she's not even close to being able to recognize this now, which is bad. It's not a good sign.
How much money do you think you spent last month on things that on paper you don't really need, or that you could have found a different way to do it?
I don't know, maybe like $300-400.
No, $300 or $400. Is she not paying attention? He just told her she spent $1,500 a month on Uber, and she's like, okay, maybe 400 of that I didn't really need. $400? What? The math ain't mathin' on that one.
Last month, you brought in 7,500. You spent 7,600. Out of that money, $3,400 was spent on shit that you don't need.
To me, I'm surprised it's that low. I thought it would actually be a lot higher than that. Gosh, she should be saving all that money. She should be living bare bones, saving $3,500 a month. Minimum. Put that away, invest it, grow her nest egg. She's making enough money, she has enough, where it's like 3 years, 4 years of savings like that. My gosh, put a down payment on a rental property. Rent that out, have some supplemental income. Keep doing that. House hack it. Rent out bedrooms if she has to. She could, theoretically, have a lot of money if she just played it right for 10 years.
This is $2,000. This is $1,000 and $400. Was spent on shit in Los Angeles that you don't need. This is the pizzeria. This is the Postmate. This is the Forever 21, the Zara's, all of those expenses here, the Rock and Field, the nightclubs, etc.
I also don't get why she's going out to nightclubs. I mean, maybe she's going with her fiance, but I would expect if she's going with her fiance, he might, not have her pay for all of that. I don't know. It sounds like she's just going out with the girls to the club. A big waste, especially if you got a fiance and kid. It's just not the wisest use of time. That's all it is. I mean, listen, if she's got her life made, she's got everything under control, she wants to have fun every now and then, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you got so much responsibility, drowning in debt, it's not worth it. It's just a waste.
So if I look at your needs today, it's about $2,100. That's today the amount of money that you need to survive.
It's really not bad at all. Like, her needs are very low. She should be just stacking cash. If she got her rent taken care of, stack the cash. Stack the cash. Stack the cash. Save 10 years of that. Just 10 years. It goes by in the blink of an eye.
So I'm going to give you a once of $300. Okay?
$300 per month.
$300 for your wants. This is your nail. This is your hair. This is your going out. This is your restaurant.
If she could do it for a year, I'll give her all the credit in the world that she's changed.
You're going to lower your standards for a minute. I need you to forget about the Barbie lifestyle, the Los Angeles girly, etc. No.
Right.
It's game over. For now. I'm not saying that you're not going to have this life. I'm saying for now, for the next year or two.
Yeah, really. Now, here's the thing. If her fiance does not want to talk about finances, or she brings this up to him, he's like,
Oh, well, then you're a gold digger. If you want to know about my money.
leave. Absolutely leave. Then he's hiding something. But yeah, I would go into it like, hey, here's my situation, what's yours? Let's have an open dialogue about this. But let's see his true character. If he's willing to sit down, have an honest conversation about finances and their plan for marriage, I'm all for it. I think that's really important. I think everyone should be doing this, even before you propose. Have a conversation a few months into a relationship if you're serious about the person, about money. I think every couple should be doing that, talking about the expectations, what I'm bringing to the table, what you're bringing to the table, what we want from the relationship and as a partnership. I think it's really important. Everyone should be doing this way before getting married and especially before proposing. Just why delay it? Otherwise, you're going to have talk too late. Have it early.
And what I would do is I would move out of Los Angeles.
Sounds about right.
You need to get out.
Yeah.
Your cost of living in Los Angeles is 42% more expensive than what it would be in Las Vegas.
I mean, in fairness, there are plenty of great places out there that she could move to, but I tend to agree if she's not going to be with your fiance and their jobs aren't tied to Los Angeles, it makes sense to move somewhere where there's a lower cost of living, where she could keep her income high. Vegas, listen, if she wants to work in the nightlife industry, plenty of money to be made there. You know, I'm sure she could probably pull in 150, 200 grand a year. And just bank all of it, just save. But, you know, it's not a lifestyle for everyone. I'm sure it's very tough.
Get out of that prison to find yourself, to not be a trophy wife for the rest of your life, and get yourself in a way that allows you to build yourself as a strong entrepreneur and independent woman.
Maybe she wants to be a trophy wife, though. Here's the thing. If she's going to be a trophy wife, just pick the right guy. That's really what it comes down to. She's picking the wrong guys to try to be a trophy wife, if that's what she wants to do. The wrong people. So that's the risk that you take. It's like, hey, you're picking the wrong guy. Things might not turn out for you. But if you do, then it turns out great. But that's I guess with any marriage, right? You pick the wrong person, your life's going to be miserable. You got to pick the right person.
We look forward to see your follow-up and to see you guys in another video. Until then, I see you next time. À bientôt.
All right, let's see. What do we got? Still in discussion with partner about their financial situation. What is still in discussion? This discussion should last a few hours, tops. It doesn't need to be more than that, a few hours. It should not be still in discussion weeks later. So that I'd say is a fail. Control their spending, keeping a balanced check on her phone. Oh, okay, fine. I give her a pass on that. Already saved $3,200 in an emergency fund, 722. Great. First step, though, I feel like there's more to unpack on that. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section, if you think I was fair in my evaluation, if I think I was too harsh, whatever it might be. And also go and subscribe to Roman down below in the comments section. I'm sure it would make him very happy. You know, he's putting a lot of work in this channel. And if you guys would like to be along for his ride, again, the link is down below. Go and just give him a follow. Maybe you like his videos. And thank you so much for watching. And until next time.